A pleasant morning, everyone. I am Jesse Maido from BSED Filipino 3, and today I will introduce to you another topic that touches the very essence of our humanity, the disability. In a world that often prioritizes perceived perfections, it's imperative to shine a light on the diverse experiences and challenges faced by individuals with special needs. My report delves deep in the multifaceted issues, aiming to shed light on the realities, struggles, and triumphs of those living with disabilities. So please bear with me as we go along and dig deeper about physical disability. But before we start our discussion, I want you to open the link that I prepared on the chat box and you will see the question, what greatest lesson you've learned in your life as a student? I will give you 5 minutes to answer the question and your timers start now. Are you done? I guess you are now ready to learn our new lesson entitled Multiple Physical Disability. But before we proceed to multiple physical disability, let us define first what is physical disability.
According to Equity Act of 2010, a physical disability is a limitation on a person's physical functioning, mobility, dexterity, or stamina. Other physical disabilities include impairments, which limit other facets of daily living, such as respiratory disorders, blindness, epilepsy, and sleep disorders. There are 6 types of physical disabilities, namely visual impairment, hearing impairment, speech impairment, multiple physical impairment, ADHD, and lastly, autism.
But today, let us only discuss the multiple physical impairment. What is multiple physical impairment? Multiple physical disabilities defined as having more than one serious disability that can affect various aspects such as mobility, behavior, emotions, or sensory abilities. It highlights common challenges faced by individuals with severe multiple impairments, including limited communication or speech impairments and problems with physical mobility. Essentially, it suggests that having multiple disabilities can compound challenges across different areas of functioning. According to Individuals with Disabilities Education Act or IDEA, which defines multiple disabilities as a situation where a person has a combination of impairments that are significant enough to require accommodations beyond what would typically be provided in a special education program for just one of those disabilities. In other words, the person's needs are complex and require more comprehensive approach to education and support. Multiple disabilities are described as having more than one impairment simultaneously, like mental retardation combined with blindness or orthopedic impairment. When those impairments occur together, they create such significant educational challenges that they cannot be adequately addressed by special education programs designed for just one of the impairments. Essentially, it means that the combination of disabilities creates unique and severe educational needs that require special support beyond what single disability program can offer. The challenges faced by the people with mobility issues, such as social discrimination and the lack of integrated healthcare. Additionally, it points out that the individuals with physical disabilities are 5 times more likely experience mental health issues compared to the general population. This suggests that the combination of physical limitations and social barriers significantly impact their mental well-being. Understanding the importance of addressing both physical and mental health needs for individuals with mobility issues. Individuals with severe disabilities and multiple disabilities vary greatly in their abilities and the disabilities they face. However, what they have in common is the capacity to learn in a lifelong requirement for support. In essence, while their specific challenges may differ, they all require ongoing assistance to thrive and reach their full potential.
According to Pritamdai 2003, there are six types of multiple physical impairments, namely visual and hearing impairments, spina bifida and hydrocephalus, intellectual disability and mental health conditions, Down syndrome and congenital heart defects, autism spectrum disorder and intellectual disability, cerebral palsy and intellectual disability.
So first, let us discuss the cerebral palsy with intellectual disability. Cerebral palsy is a neurological disorder that stems from brain damage, typically occurring before, during, or shortly after birth. This damage affects muscle control and movement, resulting in difficulties with posture, coordination, and mobility. These challenges vary widely from person to person, ranging from the mild stiffness in severe impairments.
In many cases, cerebral palsy is accompanied by intellectual disability, a condition marked by limitations in cognitive abilities and adaptive behavior. This combination can present unique challenges as individuals navigate daily tasks, communication, and social interactions. Motor coordination issues such as difficulties with walking, reaching, or grasping objects are common among those with cerebral palsy. Additionally, challenges in communication may arise, including speech impairments or difficulty expressing oneself effectively. Learning can also be impacted as individuals may require specialized education strategies tailored to their needs.
Despite the challenges, individuals with cerebral palsy and intellectual disability possess unique strengths and capabilities. With appropriate support, including physical therapy, assistive technology, and educational intervention, they can lead fulfilling lives and make meaningful contribution to their communities. Next, the second type is deaf blindness. Having both a visual and learning impairments, also known as deaf blindness, presents significant challenges that can affect various aspects of person's life. Communication, mobility, and overall quality of life may be profoundly impacted.
Individuals who are deaf-blind often rely on alternative methods of communication, such as tactile sign language, which involves using touch to convey signs rather than visual cues. Additionally, they may use assistive technology, such as braille displays or communication devices equipped with tactile feedback, to facilitate interactions with others and access information. Mobility can also be challenging for individuals with deaf blindness, as they may struggle to navigate their environment safely without the use of sight or hearing. They may require orientations and mobility training, as well as support from guide animals or mobility aids like canes or wheelchairs to move independently.
The combination of visual and hearing impairment can profoundly impact a person's ability to access information, participate in social activities, and engage with their surroundings. Therefore, it's crucial for individuals with deaf blindness to have access to specialized services and support system tailored to their unique needs, enabling them to live independently and fully as possible. The third type is autism spectrum disorder or ASD with intellectual disorder. Autism spectrum disorder or ASD is a complex developmental condition characterized by challenges in social interactions, communication, and behavior. The spectrum disorder varies widely in severity and symptoms, with some individuals experiencing mild difficulties while others face significant impairments.
It is important to note that ASD frequently co-occurs with intellectual disability, meaning that a substantial portion of individuals with ASD also have limitation in cognitive functioning,
Research suggests that approximately 40 to 60% of individuals diagnosed with ASD also have an intellectual disability. For those with both ASD and intellectual disability, navigating social interactions can be particularly challenging. Difficulties in understanding social cues, expressing emotion, and forming meaningful relationships may arise. Additionally, sensory processing issues are common, leading to sensitive or aberrations to certain stimuli such as light, sounds, or textures. Adaptive behavior, which refers to the ability to perform every task and activities independently, may also be affected. Individuals with ASD and intellectual disability may require support and intervention to develop skills related to self-care, communication, and problem solving.
While living with both ASD and intellectual disability presents unique challenges, early intervention, specialized therapies, and tailored support service can greatly improve outcomes and enhance quality of life for individuals and their families. It's essential to recognize the diverse needs of individuals on the autism spectrum and provide comprehensive support that address their specific strengths and challenges. The fourth type is spina bifida and hydrocephalus. Spina bifida is a congenital condition characterized by the incomplete development of the spine and spinal cord during the fetal development. The condition can result in various physical disabilities, including paralysis, muscle weakness, and mobility limitation. Additionally, individuals with spina bifida are at risk of developing hydrocephalus, a condition where excess fluid accumulates in their brain, including to increase pressure.
Hydrocephalus is a common complication of spina bifida due to the disruptions in the flow of cerebrospinal fluid caused by the spinal cord malformation. This buildup of fluid can further exacerbate neurological symptoms and may require surgical intervention to manage. Beyond these physical challenges associated with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, individuals may also experience cognitive impairments such as learning disabilities. This can manifest as difficulties with academic achievement, problem solving, and processing information.
Living with spina bifida and hydrocephalus requires comprehensive medical care, including regular monitoring, surgical intervention, and rehabilitative therapies to address physical and cognitive impairments. Assistive devices such as wheelchairs, braces, or communication aids may be necessary to enhance independence and quality of life. Additionally, ongoing support from healthcare professionals, educators, and community resources can help individuals with the conditions navigate the challenges they may face and maximize their potential. The next type is Down syndrome with congenital heart defects. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder resulting from the presence of extra copy of chromosome 21, also known as trisomy 21. This additional genetic material leads to the various physical and developmental characteristics associated with condition.
One common co-occurring condition in individuals with Down syndrome is congenital heart defects, which are structural abnormalities in the heart present at birth. These defects can affect the heart structure, function, or both, and may vary in severity. Alongside the characteristics features of Down syndrome, such as distinct facial features, low muscle tone, and developmental delays, individuals with Down syndrome and congenital heart defects may experience additional challenges. Intellectual disability is a common feature, although the degree of impairment can vary widely among individuals. Additionally, physical impairments such as muscle weakness or mobility limitation may be present. Managing the healthcare needs of individuals with Down syndrome and congenital heart defects often involves a multidisciplinary approach. These may include regular monitoring by healthcare professionals, specialized medical interventions such as surgery of medication to address heart issues, and ongoing support to address developmental and educational needs.
While living with Down syndrome and congenital heart defects presents unique challenges, many individuals with this condition lead fulfilling lives with appropriate medical care, support from their families, access community resources. It's essential to provide comprehensive and individualized support to optimize the health and well-being of individuals with the conditions throughout their lives. The last type is intellectual disability with mental health condition. Individuals with intellectual disability are also prone to experiencing mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and behavioral disorders. These additional conditions can greatly affect their overall well-being and quality of life. Therefore, it emphasizes the importance of providing them with the necessary support and treatment tailored to their specific needs to address these mental health challenges effectively.
So I use a wheelchair if I have to leave the house, and it can mean lots of surgeries.
Jamila developed anxiety after struggling for years with the disability and often being dismissed.
So a lot of people accuse me of faking, or they don't understand much about endo, including doctors.
Jamila is organising a mental health care plan and hopes to see a psychologist.
People with a disability are more likely to experience anxiety. 1/3 report having anxiety compared to 12% of the general public. It's a similar difference for those reporting psychological distress.
And now, let us move on to the characteristic of multiple physical disabilities. There are different characteristics that children may display as a result of having one or more disabilities. These characteristics include issues related to physical mobility, such as impaired mobility or loss of mobility, as well as sensory impairments like hearing loss and vision loss. It also mentions specific conditions like autism, seizure, abnormal spine curvature, and hydrocephalus, which involves excess fluids in the brain causing pressure. Overall, it highlights the diverse range of challenges children with disabilities may face.
Various behavioral characteristics that individuals with disabilities may exhibit. These include difficulties in initiating or maintaining relationship with others, limited ability to be independent and take care of oneself, impulsive behaviors coupled with a low tolerance for frustration, and behaviors that do not align with typical age expectation. It highlights the challenges individuals with disabilities may face in social interaction, independence, emotional regulation, and developmental milestones. Here are the following data based on the percentage of students with special needs.
And now, let us discuss what is the cause of multiple physical disabilities. There are several causes of multiple disabilities, which are conditions where an individual experiences more than one disability concurrently. These causes primarily stem from factors affecting the fetus during development, such as malnutrition, maternal alcohol consumptions, exposure to unsafe environmental conditions or illness, genetic conditions, or chromosome abnormalities. Additionally, multiple disabilities can result from infections contracted during pregnancy or early childhood, such as meningitis, rubella, or herpes. Furthermore, exposure to environmental toxins can also contribute to the development of multiple disabilities. These factors collectively highlight the complex array of influence that can lead to the presence of multiple disabilities in individuals.
Another causes of multiple physical impairments according to Center for Parent Information and Resources are chromosome abnormalities, premature birth, difficulties after birth, poor development of brain or spinal cord, infections, genetic disorders, and injuries from accidents.
Now, let us discuss the challenges faced by the teacher teaching with students with special needs. Many schools face due to the budget cuts, resulting in layoff of teachers and support staff. Despite these financial constraints, students with multiple disabilities are entitled to receive a free public education. While some may argue that the cost of educating these students drains valuable resources that could otherwise support teachers, programs, and resources. It's essential to prioritize equal access to education for all children. Denying any child, regardless of their abilities, the rights of quality education contradicts the fundamental principle of equal opportunity. Therefore, ensuring that students with multiple physical disabilities have access to educational resources and support. It is only a matter of quality, but also reflection of our commitment to providing inclusive education for all.
Without a doubt, the aforementioned traits can create numerous educational challenges. For instance, a student prone to seizures raises safety concerns inside the classroom. Other common educational challenges revolve around the following issues: finding a setting suitable to the child's intelligence level, a child's ability to effectively communicate with teachers, support staff, and peers, a student's capability to function in the classroom, assessing and compensating for visual or hearing impairments.
Now, let us discuss how do we approach students with special needs. The pivotal role of education in personal and societal advancement, serving as a catalyst for growth, empowerment, and the realization of individual potential. However, students with multiple physical impairments face unique obstacles that can greatly hinder their educational experiences. Establishing an inclusive and supportive environment that promotes social engagement and offers tailored support services is crucial in enabling these students to excel both academically and personally. By fostering environment that acknowledge and addresses the diverse needs of students with physical impairments, education institutions can ensure that every individual has the opportunity to thrive. This requires a concerned effort to implement specialized support services, accommodate varying abilities, and cultivate a culture of inclusivity and understanding.
First, let us discuss the first approaches, which is the know the needs and play the strength. Each student with multiple disabilities will have his or her own set of skills, strength, and learning needs. Learning more about each disability of the student will be helpful in addressing those learning needs. Also, find out more about the student's strength and interest, enthusiasm, and preferences. This can be used to motivate the students and enrich the education he or she receives. Parents are a great source of this information, so is the student. Secondly, be familiar with the student's IEP. If you have a student with multiple disabilities in your class, chances are that he or she has an individualized education program, or what we call IEP. The IEP will spell out the educational and functional goals to be worked on. You may have been part of the team that developed the IEP. If not, it is important to be familiar with the student's IEP requires. Ask for a copy, consult with administrators and other teachers as needed to make sure that the supports and the services listed in the IEP are provided. Lastly, make modifications. Students with multiple disabilities often need substantial modifications and accommodations in the classroom. This will help them access the general education curriculum at a grade appropriate level. Indeed, through collective dedication and a steadfast commitment to inclusivity, educational settings can evolve into spaces where all students, regardless of physical abilities, are empowered to achieve their aspiration and contribute meaningfully to society. This not only benefits the individual students but also enriches the broader educational community by embracing diversity and maximizing the potential of every learner. So that would be the end of my report. Thank you so much for listening.
So I'm trying to compose my blog post for tonight. And I'm thinking, this sounds really believable, that I went to prison and hugged a bunch of really nice prisoners while a DJ Busy threw on some records and Richard Branson told me where I can score some free heroin. True story. Lesson number 1. Never believe a prediction that doesn't empower you. When I was born, the doctors told my parents that I would be dead within the first 24 hours of my life. 35 years later, all those doctors are dead. And I am the only doctor that remains. Never believe a prediction that doesn't empower you. How many predictions have been thrown at you your whole life? If you believe predictions that do not empower you, you will wither away and die. Either physically die or your spirit will die as you just walk around the world like a carcass that is just following the masses. You will be given a lot of titles in your life. You will be told so many different things. You must only listen to that which empowers you. I have a belief that has served me in my life, and that is that everyone is rooting for me to win, even those that do not know it. And I am not here today to tell you that I have had adversity in my life, and so therefore I know what you're going through. I don't have a clue what any of you are going through in your lives. I did not grow up in your neighborhoods, more than likely. I did not have your set of parents, nor do I live in your body. I have not had the events that you've had happen to you. I can tell you I am only an expert on one thing, and that's how to be me. And I do it well. But it's not come easily. I've gone through things that I don't wish upon anyone in this room. I've had metal rods pulled out of bone marrow while I was awake. I've had jaw infections where teeth had to be extracted and I can no longer chew my own food. I have to get up every day and be showered and cared for physically by another human being. Fortunately, she's a gorgeous woman that I married. I get stared at everywhere I go, and the moment people meet me, if they don't know a thing about my resume, they automatically, just by the human nature, think to themselves, oh, it must be so difficult to be that man. If somebody pities me, they're wasting their time. Because I have chosen a life of strength, and I am here to help you choose a life of strength. But I'm going to tell you, we've talked about drugs here. You know what the worst drug to ever hit the human race is? Pity. The moment you feel sorry for another person, or the moment you feel sorry for yourself, you're hosed. You are totally, completely frozen in potential. We cannot pity ourselves. We cannot pity you. Yes, I get to go home today. Yes, I get to have what many would call freedom, but I'm going to talk to you about freedom, about what I really choose to see freedom as. Because like I said, you cannot believe predictions that do not empower you. The second lesson today is you are not your condition. You are not. I am not disabled. Sure, I'll take the handicap parking privileges. But that does not define me as a man. Not able. I've been looked at and treated my whole life as if I am not able. I have had to rise above and show people that the only disability is one's refusal to adapt. You have to adapt to whatever environment you're in, even if it's prison. And what does adaptation look like? I think it looks like celebration. Because when you meet people that are celebrating their life, you want to be around them. You want to learn from them. You want to do business with them. You want to hire them. Look, if you do not want to be seen as a prisoner or a convict when you get out of this, or even while you're in this, then it's an attitude. It is a belief in yourself that you bring value to the human race, no matter what your current condition, title, or stature is. Because if I believe that I'm disabled, I would wither up, I would be shy, I would be insecure, I would be afraid, I would act like I need your help. And the rest of humanity would be okay with that. But I choose something else. I choose to be strong, I choose to be a leader, I choose to have words to move this planet. I'll tell you why I was born. And I hope it inspires you to find out why you were born. I was born to rid this world of insecurity. Because when a human being is insecure, they do stupid stuff. When we feel like we're not enough, we chase external validation and external objects to try to tell us we're enough. Thank you. You are enough. I'll tell you, I made a pledge as a therapist to love all human beings no matter what they've done. Because deep down inside, I've found that every human being just wants to be loved. Even if they're tough, even if they're scary, even if they're vicious, you get them in the right position at the right time, they'll tell you the truth. They just want to be loved. You know who they want the love from the most? Not their moms, not their dads, not their wardens, none of these people. They want to be able to look in the mirror and love themselves. And if you can figure that out, then you're going somewhere. But you cannot feel sorry for yourself. When you feel sorry for yourself, you will wither. But there's a contradiction to feeling sorry for yourself. It's the opposite extreme. It's what I call bullying yourself, beating yourself up, being your own enemy and telling yourself that all those predictions, those negative opinions, they're true, they're right, you're washed up failure, you're not going to amount to anything. Bullying yourself is the most dangerous thing that you could do. You cannot afford to pity yourself. You cannot afford to bully yourself. You have to love yourself. Because the last lesson that I'm going to share with you today, that is, I'm going to teach you what the real prison is. It's not surrounded by barbed wire or electrical fences. The real prisons do not have guards. The real prison's up here. And we all got it. We all have a mind that chatters, so often won't stop chattering. Do you know where your salvation is? It's not outside these walls. I've met so many people that are so extremely successful and famous that are in prison because they're stuck in their minds, bullying themselves, pitying themselves. True freedom is dropping down out of that mind. And what my wife has taught me is drop into your heart. into mastering this beating thing that is more than just sending blood to the extremities. What is it doing? It's sending emotional possibilities, infinite possibilities of choice in our behavior, in our life, in our attitude. When you love yourself, whether you're sleeping on a prison cot or in a mansion, whether you have food in your belly or you don't know when your next meal is coming, when you love yourself, when you learn to master your emotions, then and only then are you free. I love you, each and every one of you, and I wish you freedom within these walls. God bless.